She stepped onto the red carpet, and for a split second, the world seemed to stop. Flashbulbs erupted. Heads turned. And the cameras, for once, didn't chase drama, they chased awe. Catherine, Princess of Wales, wasn't just attending an event, she was delivering a message. Draped in a stunning Alexander McQueen gown that shimmered like moonlight poured into silk, she didn't just make an entrance, she made history. But it wasn't the gown that left the world breathless. Around her neck rested what experts are calling the most expensive royal diamond necklace ever seen in public. A piece so rare, so dazzling, it immediately set off a firestorm of speculation. Was it the fabled Nizam of Hyderabad necklace? Or something even more mysterious? And more importantly, why now? What is Catherine really saying with this unprecedented display of opulence? Let's start with the dress. A custom Alexander McQueen creation, bold yet graceful, daring yet controlled. It wasn't simply tailored to her figure, it was sculpted, the structured bodice hugging her silhouette, giving her a presence that was equal parts goddess and queen-in-waiting. The skirt flowed behind her like liquid starlight, catching every light in the room and tossing it back like diamonds in motion. McQueen has long been Catherine's designer of choice for high-profile moments, her wedding, state banquets, major royal appearances. But this gown, it went beyond style. It was a statement, a masterful balance between royal tradition and modern femininity. The fabric whispered of legacy, but the cut screamed leadership. Catherine wasn't wearing a dress, she was wearing authority. And then, there was the necklace. Nestled just below her collarbone, sparkling with terrifying intensity, was a piece that defied logic. Gemologists were left speechless. Jewelers scrambled for identification. And the internet, it detonated. The most common theory, that this was the legendary Nizam of Hyderabad necklace, a Cartier masterpiece gifted to Queen Elizabeth II in 1947. But others speculated that the necklace had never been seen publicly before, that it was a hidden royal heirloom handed down in secret. Either way, the symbolism was undeniable. This wasn't an accessory. This was a declaration of wealth, of power, of inheritance. In a family where nothing is worn without meaning, this necklace shouted one thing loud and clear. Catherine isn't preparing to become queen. She's already stepping into the role. To understand the magnitude of that necklace, you have to go back. Queen Elizabeth wore it during her early reign, always during moments of profound public significance. It was a symbol of grace under pressure, of control in a world obsessed with spectacle. So when Catherine chooses that necklace now, at a time when the royal family faces unprecedented scrutiny, it sends a message most people won't catch unless they know the code. This is continuity. This is legacy. This is power transferred not by words, but by diamonds. Jewelry in the royal family has never been just decoration, it's communication. Elizabeth wore it as a queen. Now Catherine wears it as the one who's next. Of course, comparisons to Princess Diana were immediate and inevitable. Diana understood the battlefield of fashion better than anyone. She didn't just dress beautifully, she dressed strategically. Her wardrobe was her armor. Her statements weren't made with microphones, but with sapphire chokers and plunging black gowns. The iconic revenge dress, worn the very night Prince Charles confessed to infidelity, wasn't just a fashion moment. It was a declaration of autonomy, a controlled explosion of defiance. And now, decades later, Catherine is crafting her own language of power, quiet, precise, and no less deliberate. But Catherine's approach is markedly different. Where Diana used style to rebel, Catherine uses it to stabilize. Her fashion is less about protest and more about projection, of calm, elegance, and continuity. Yet both women understood one thing, the power of being seen. When Catherine walked out wearing that necklace, when the world held its breath, the comparison wasn't just visual, it was generational. It was the echo of a legacy evolving. And make no mistake, this wasn't accidental. Royal watchers have long noted Catherine's subtle tributes to Diana, re-wearing colors, jewelry, even silhouettes that nod to her late mother-in-law. But this moment felt less like a tribute and more like a transformation. It wasn't a quiet homage, it was a coronation of her own making. While Diana's fashion moments often reflected the turbulence of her personal life, Catherine's choices project control. Where Diana communicated pain wrapped in velvet, Catherine sends out strength in silk and diamonds. And that distinction matters because it reflects the kind of queen each woman was meant to be. Still, the emotional connection lingers. For the public, seeing Catherine in jewels that might have once adorned Diana isn't just a royal callback, it's a reminder of what was lost and what's still being carried forward. It stirs nostalgia, yes, but also a sense of hope. That maybe this time, the story ends differently. That maybe this time, grace wins without the tragedy. But why now? Why this moment? That's where things get interesting. The monarchy is under more pressure than ever, internal tensions, public scrutiny, declining trust. In the midst of this, Catherine emerges like royalty from a fairy tale, pristine, composed, and impossibly dazzling. This was not vanity. This was strategy. Royal fashion has always been political. Every outfit speaks. Every jewel whispers secrets. And this one screamed confidence. With this appearance, Catherine isn't just reminding the world that the monarchy is alive. She's reminding it that it still holds power, tradition, and influence. All without saying a single word. There's also something deeper, something psychological. The brilliance of diamonds has always meant more than sparkle. It symbolizes permanence. In a world spinning faster, growing more uncertain, Catherine's necklace is an anchor. Her appearance is stability. Her silence is strength. At a time when institutions falter and traditions fade, she walks out in full regalia and reminds the world that some things don't change. Glamour, in her hands, becomes not just beauty, but reassurance. Power cloaked in poise. And with every calculated step, she shows that she understands exactly how to hold a room and hold a nation together. But this wasn't just about symbolism. There are real-world consequences when Catherine wears something. The so-called Kate effect is a documented economic phenomenon. Brands sell out, styles are copied, fashion lines explode. But this time, the stakes are higher. This wasn't a $500 coat from Zara, it was historical luxury. Catherine is pivoting. She's not just influencing style, she's shaping cultural values. Her choice to wear an heirloom instead of a brand-new purchase signals a shift toward timeless sustainability. Younger generations notice. The fashion world follows. And even tourism gets a boost. Every stunning royal appearance fuels interest in the monarchy and in the country it represents. And so the question remains, was this a one-time spectacle or the beginning of something bigger? A new era where Catherine embraces boldness, legacy, and glamour all at once. We've seen glimpses of this evolution, more confidence, more command, more symbolism in her style. The clues are subtle, but they're there. The jewels, the gowns, the timing, all suggest that she's no longer waiting for the crown. She's already practicing how to wear it. And the world is watching closely. Catherine didn't just walk a red carpet. She stepped into history. That gown wasn't fabric, it was armor. That necklace wasn't jewelry, it was a legacy, glittering with the weight of 1,000 unspoken messages. In a single appearance, she reminded the world what royalty looks like when it refuses to fade into the background. Silent, elegant, unshakable. This wasn't just a fashion moment. This was a power move. So the only question left is, what message will she send next? And will we even be ready when she does? If you found this breakdown fascinating, don't forget to subscribe and drop a comment, because what Catherine just did might be the beginning of a very different monarchy.